Hey, what's up everyone? Tyler here with Secureteam. So, we have some amazing new footage from the ISS that was actually sent to me by two different people in the last couple of hours, showing something, we'll say, flying up and exiting the Earth's atmosphere. The first email said it looked like a rocket of some sort, possibly, or just a UFO that is basically, you can see it, what looks like it's burning up in the atmosphere as it exits. And as you're seeing in the footage, and we'll zoom in and we'll talk about this, so bear with me, you'll notice that there's a very strange line. It sort of looks like clouds, kind of like you would see from the exhaust from a rocket. But it's not just one long line. And the way this thing comes up, as you're seeing here, and we'll slow this down, it comes up, and then you can actually see the object disconnect at the very end, which you're seeing right here. It disconnects from this long, bright flash, disappears for a moment, and then we see another object sitting here, which the object that comes up out of the atmosphere appears at and looks to connect with momentarily, before vanishing again, and we see no more lights, we see no more flashes, and the object is gone. But this odd, almost what looks like exhaust is still sitting here. And you can see it's completely different than the surrounding cloud cover. Now, some of you may say, alright Tyler, you've lost your marbles, this is just the sun reflecting off of the clouds. Well, first of all, this is not the sun. Because when the sun reflects off of the Earth, especially in ISS footage, which I have seen probably thousands of hours worth, it looks like this, what you're seeing in these images here. It's massive. When you do catch the sun reflecting off of the Earth, first of all, it doesn't reflect off of clouds, as we're seeing in this footage. It doesn't reflect off of clouds. It reflects off of the ocean. And you'll notice in all of these images, the reflective halo created by the sun is massive. It's massive. And it's not just some small pinprick of light, as you're seeing in this footage, which only lasts for a few seconds before completely disappearing. Had this been a reflection of the sun, first of all, it would be much more massive. And secondly, and as you're seeing in the video, the reflection would have become even more visible as it crossed over this small area of open ocean where there's no clouds. Because that, again, that is where these reflections appear. They don't appear in the clouds. Nonetheless, are they as small as this flash of light that you're seeing here? And you can get on Google and you can look up every single image you can find showing the sun reflecting off of the Earth. And it's a massive reflection. And you only get these big glints of light coming off of the ocean, which is the complete opposite of the footage we have here, where you can see this object moving up through the clouds, coming up through this strange exhaust-looking type cloud formation in a perfect line. And what you're seeing here is you're seeing the flash of light coming from this object reflecting below it on these clouds. That's what you're seeing. And again, as you watch the footage, you can see, once this flash of light putters out, you can see this object finally release and come out of the atmosphere before disappearing momentarily and then possibly meeting up or connecting with this second object which is already in orbit, before once again vanishing, which is the complete opposite of what you would see had this been a reflection of the sun. You would have seen a large glaring halo, especially on this patch of open ocean here, which oddly enough is where the UFO disappears when it goes over this patch of ocean. So again, it's definitely an object exiting the Earth's atmosphere. You can see it come up and release before disappearing and then appearing again next to this object that may or may not be a cloud or another object orbiting. It's very interesting. I don't think it's a cloud because you can see the other clouds around, and this second object that seems to be orbiting where this UFO that exits the Earth appears at seems to have a much more reflective surface than the surrounding clouds. and you can actually see blue, red, and green flashes of light reflecting off of it, which gives me the impression that it's more metallic possibly in nature. Because as you look at the other cloud cover, it's white. It doesn't flicker red, green, and blue, and yellow, as this second object does. And, you know, as far as UFOs flying over and exiting Earth's atmosphere, this isn't the first time that this has been seen. As you're seeing in this footage here from the STS-48 mission, there was a massive amount of these crafts that were caught using the infrared camera on the International Space Station, showing these objects, flying at different speeds, mind you. Remember the video we just put out talking about the astronaut who came out and stated that he's not a fan of UFOs anymore, simply because he supposedly had never seen one? And we basically destroyed that entire article in the video that I posted. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can go back and watch it. But his claim is that any UFOs that we see in space are just merely ice crystals. Ice crystals. However, as I've noted many times before, this is one of NASA's favorite go-to excuses for any object in space. Well, I can tell you one thing, ice crystals do not change speed, and they do not make right turns, and they do not act as if they are piloted. And these craft that we're seeing exiting Earth in this video are going at various speeds, many of which are not spinning, as you would see with ice crystals. Now, of course, there are ice crystals in space that come from the ISS, but usually when you see these ice crystals, they look to be spinning very quickly. But in this footage here, you see multiple crafts flying up from the atmosphere, moving in a straight line, steady, and not spinning one iota. So, as I said, crafts leaving the atmosphere are nothing new. And I love referring to images like this here. This is just one of my favorite images, showing clear-cut proof, evidence in your face that there are craft above the Earth. And we know for a fact that at least one of the shapes of these craft are in the traditional triangular TR-3B style shape. Another favorite image of mine is this here, showing another one of these vector, sort of chevron-shaped UFOs that we talked about in our last video about how NASA and virtually every other space agency has a very secret link to the chevron symbol. They all use the vector or chevron shape in every single one of their official logos. So, and they're basically advertising through this secret logo that no one's really noticed before that these UFOs exist, at least these UFOs that are shaped in the form of a chevron or a triangle, and it's very sneaky of them, but we exposed them in one of our recent videos having to do with that. So watch that video if you haven't seen that. And there's various shapes of UFOs up in space. We have cigar-shaped objects. We have disc-shaped objects. We have satellites that aren't ours, that have been tracked from the Earth, making movements, changing speed, and even becoming lost. As in, they've changed position and can no longer be tracked, and we have no idea where they are. So again, back to this original footage here. Recorded off of the ISS, we see this object exiting the atmosphere of the Earth, showing this massive flash behind it before the object finally ejects very smoothly out of the Earth's atmosphere, vanishes, and then appears momentarily with this object, which is perfectly in the exact right spot that it needs to be the moment this object releases from this massive fiery tail that it leaves behind. So again, could this be a meeting or a linking up with a second craft? I don't know. I just simply don't have enough footage to compare it with. So this is what we have. It's some amazing footage nonetheless. Be sure to let me know what you guys think, and keep sending me in what you guys catch. It's some amazing stuff, and we'll keep posting it. We've got a whole list of amazing stuff that we want to show you guys right now. There's some footage out there that we're looking at. We're currently in talks with the sources of said video, so as soon as we do, we'll post a video on those, and we'll also be posting some other videos on some very interesting topics. So be sure to share, like, and subscribe on your way out, and we'll see you back real soon. Stay safe, guys.
Bye.